What should have been the happiest day of their lives turned into an unthinkable massacre. A wedding celebration filled with love and laughter ended in horror as the groom, Sachin, pulled out a gun and slaughtered his bride's entire family before turning the weapon on himself. But why? What could push a man to commit such an act just hours after promising a lifetime of love? Was it jealousy, betrayal, or was this wedding doomed from the start? Tonight, we uncover the chilling truth behind one of the most shocking crimes in recent history. We explore the hidden tensions, the whispered secrets, and the dark obsession that led to a wedding turned funeral. Could this tragedy have been prevented, or was it always written in blood? Welcome to True Crime Acts, where we look into the hidden truths behind some of the most chilling real-life events. Our mission is to uncover the stories that shock, educate, and spark change, reminding us that behind every headline is a victim, a family, and a ripple effect felt by an entire community. If you find this journey as important as we do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to ensure you never miss another gripping exploration into the depths of human behavior. Weddings are supposed to be a celebration of love, a sacred bond that unites two souls and their families. But for Komal and Sachin Kumar, their wedding day would turn into an unimaginable bloodbath within hours. What could push a man who had just taken vows of love and lifelong commitment to annihilate his new wife and her entire family before turning the gun on himself? The wedding hall in India was filled with laughter, music, and celebration as guests gathered to witness the arranged marriage of Komal, a vibrant young woman with dreams of a happy future, and Sachin, a man with a seemingly stable demeanor. The families, though cordial on the surface, harbored unspoken tensions and hidden resentments. Whispers of dissatisfaction about dowry, financial expectations, and unspoken power struggles loomed beneath the festivities. As the night progressed, something changed. The mood shifted from joy to quiet unease. Guests noticed Sachin's increasingly cold demeanor, his tense exchanges with Komal's father, and the veiled hostility in the interactions between the two families. Was this an arranged marriage doomed from the start? Or was there something far darker lurking beneath the surface? A secret Sachin had been harboring, waiting for the right moment to unleash his fury. By the time the wedding festivities died down, a storm had already begun to form behind closed doors. Komal's family, according to sources, had sensed tension between their daughter and her new husband. While the couple had agreed to the arranged marriage, something about Sachin's behavior seemed off. According to witness accounts, an intense argument erupted between Sachin and Komal's family soon after they arrived home from the wedding. The topic? Financial disputes and family honor. While exact details remain murky, sources suggest that Sachin felt belittled, disrespected, and cornered. What triggered this sudden rage? Was it Komal's reluctance to accept her new husband? Did her family insult Sachin in a way that wounded his ego beyond repair? Or was this always the plan, a premeditated execution masked as a wedding celebration? The silence of the early morning was shattered by something no one in the household saw coming. Sachin Kumar, now a husband for mere hours, was walking through his new in-laws' home with deadly intent. While his wife and her family slept, he moved with chilling precision, his mind completely consumed by what he was about to do. Was this planned all along? Did Sachin know, even as he placed a garland around Komal's neck just hours before, that he would be the one to end her life that very night? Or was this a crime born out of rage, a sudden and uncontrollable fury that transformed him from a groom into a mass murderer? Whatever his motives were, he made his decision. Sachin's first target was Komal's father, who lay asleep in his bedroom. With deadly efficiency, Sachin moved from room to room, executing each member of Komal's family. Her mother, her brother. One by one he shot them at close range, ensuring they would not survive. The entire house, which had just been filled with celebration and laughter, was now a graveyard of bodies. And then, he walked toward Komal's room. She was still awake, staring at her phone, perhaps scrolling through wedding pictures, or texting a friend about the strange tension she had sensed in her husband. Did she know she was seconds away from death? With one final shot, the bride was dead, lying in the very home where she had just celebrated the start of her new life. As the realization of his crime sank in, Sachin Kumar stood among the bodies of the family he had just obliterated. The weight of what he had done may have hit him like a crushing wave, or perhaps he felt nothing at all. What went through his mind in those final moments? Was it regret, or was it satisfaction in knowing that he had exacted his twisted revenge? Whatever his emotions were, one thing was clear. He had no intention of facing the consequences. Sachin turned the gun on himself, placing it against his temple. In an instant, the massacre was over. But the aftermath had just begun. What happens when love turns into resentment, when a supposed life partner becomes an enemy, when a man believes he has been stripped of his honor? For Sachin, this wasn't just about betrayal. It wasn't about love lost or a relationship turned sour. It was about power, control, and the idea that he had been humiliated. Sachin had spent his entire life trying to be the ideal man, strong, respected, a provider. But as the truth about his new bride unfolded, he felt like he had lost everything. The world, as he knew it, was crumbling, and in his warped sense of justice, he needed to reclaim his pride the only way he knew how, through violence. Was he always a ticking time bomb waiting to explode? Or did Komal's rejection push him past his breaking point? The psychology of honor and ego-driven crimes runs deep in many cultures. In Sachin's mind, he wasn't just killing his wife and her family. He was erasing a stain on his dignity. Sachin and Komal's wedding was supposed to be a union of families, a strengthening of social ties, a reinforcement of tradition. But in many cases, these arranged unions become breeding grounds for resentment, manipulation, and at times, deadly consequences. Sachin never had a say in his future. He had been told this was the perfect match, that this was his duty, that this was what would complete him. But did he ever truly want this marriage? Or was he pushed into a situation that he never emotionally accepted? When marriages become contracts rather than connections, when societal expectations outweigh personal happiness, when pressure mounts to the point of suffocation, what happens next? Did Sachin snap under years of cultural conditioning? Or was he simply a man incapable of handling rejection? This wasn't just about Sachin and Komal. This was about decades of conditioning, about family disputes that never got resolved, about the unspoken rage simmering beneath years of societal pressure. Sachin felt cornered, disrespected, small, worthless. And when a man with a fragile ego feels like he has been made a fool of, he reacts. He wasn't just punishing Komal. He was punishing the entire family. How many families have been destroyed because one person felt like their honor was at stake? Hindsight is a cruel thing. When violence erupts, when blood is spilled, when the damage is irreversible, people begin to ask, could we have seen this coming? The truth is, there were signs. People often assume that killers snap in a single moment. That one incident pushes them over the edge, transforming them into monsters overnight. But the reality is different. The warning signs are there. They build, they fester, they wait for the right moment to explode. Had Komal felt something was wrong? Had she ever confided in a friend about feeling trapped in the marriage? And what about his family? Did his own parents see the rage brewing beneath the surface? In many cultures, the concept of masculinity is deeply intertwined with control. A man is expected to lead, to protect, to be the dominant figure in a relationship. Was Sachin a man pushed to the edge by rejection, or was he always capable of such horror? Had someone recognized the danger earlier, could this massacre have been prevented? The shockwaves of this tragedy rippled through the entire community. What was supposed to be a celebration of love turned into a bloodbath. Komal's family, wiped out in mere moments. A man who had promised to cherish her forever became her executioner. People struggled to make sense of it all. How does a man go from exchanging wedding vows to murdering his bride's entire family within hours? Neighbors whispered in fear. Parents clutched their daughters a little tighter. How do you trust love when it can turn into a death sentence? This wasn't just a domestic dispute. This was a massacre, and Sachin, he took the coward's way out. No trial, no justice, no closure. The community wanted answers, but there were none to be found. What made Sachin believe that murder was the only way out? Every crime has a pattern. Every tragedy leaves behind clues. Could this massacre have been prevented if someone had spoken up? If Komal had recognized the danger? If Sachin's family had intervened? This wasn't a crime of passion. This was a crime of entitlement, of control, of deep-seated rage that finally found an outlet. How many more Komals will there be before we realize the cost of unchecked male ego? This wasn't just a crime, it was a lesson, a warning. The signs were there, the tension was brewing, the violence was inevitable, and yet no one stopped it. But what do you think? Was Sachin a monster from the start, or was he a product of cultural expectations, emotional repression, and a fragile ego that couldn't handle rejection? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's have this conversation. Let's confront these realities. And if you or someone you know is in a toxic, controlling relationship, speak up. Get help before it's too late. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to True Crime Acts for more chilling stories that need to be told.